But still, we have MrWunder on the left, who has a 122.07 PB, and on the right, oh sorry, I just let me watch the time of Serelepe. Yeah, Serelepe has 137 and 138.37, sorry, PB. That might be a close race, I think. So both of them right now are in the first split we call Escape. Escape is, well, most of runners don't like it very much because it's the, the reset split. Whenever you reset a race, you reset a round, you just do Escape again and again and again. It's kind of, yeah, boring. Also, Escape is one of those splits. Movement is really important, more than everything else, and saving time even a little is really hard. For instance, you have most of people know this already, I think. You have to, well, to do some pumping. This pumping stuff, I will explain it quickly. Link has a base speed of 1.5 pixel per frames. This is a little more complicated because it depends actually on the frames, so this is only a mean. It's only an average speed. And he's alternating between 2 and doing some movements makes him, well, tend to 2 pixels per frame without reaching it though, because to reach it you would have to press a button 30 times a second, which of course for a human is impossible. For us it's possible though. Looks like we have a little problem with Serelepe's capture, but yeah, no problem. I think it will be back soon. Sorry, shortly. Sorry, yeah, my English sometimes can be I can be mistaken on some words. So we're seeing right now MrWunder in the Bolenchin soldiers room, and he's going for the 8 slashes. We have 3 techniques to fight this guard. Quite a neat fight there. 3 minutes key. That's a good time. We have 3 techniques to beat him. He chose the fastest one, but also the riskiest one. GG to him to lose only 1 heart on this fight. Quite a hard fight in the beginning. Yeah, I told you earlier, it's really hard to save even a little time. Bolenchin is one of those guards, one of those enemies. You can lose a lot of time there. Yeah, so right now, since we have Zelda with us, we just come back to the throne room to be able to push, because she gives us her strength to push some kind of block behind the throne, actually, to have access to the sewers, which are the second part of this escape split. Yeah, the first part, so this is a castle, you just saw it, you are seeing the end of this. The most difficult part here is, well, of course, pumping well, and handle with guards RNG, which can be annoying. Seems like MrWunder didn't have so much trouble with guards RNG, which is good. And we will see what kind of RNG rats and snakes and bats will give to him. So yeah, you just saw him boomerang throw his boomerang to a blue rupee. This is actually part of drop. I think I can explain it right now because this is, maybe we will see this again later in the run. It's kind of well, nice knowledge of the game. I like to know. It's like how works the game engine. I don't know actually what happened to Serelepe. It looks like he has a problem with either, I don't know, his capture card or maybe his internet connection. I think he will come back shortly. He might be well, managing this with the tournament organization or speed gaming organization. I don't know, but yeah, it might come back soon, I think. Looks like MrWunder has a bit of trouble with those rats. Yeah, I told you, the rats RNG can be pretty painful sometimes. So yeah, the rats. As you can see, MrWunder already has 12 rupees in his rupee counter, which is quite nice on this moment actually, because generally you have, well, if you have 5 rupees there, you can consider yourself lucky. Rats are, like every enemy, almost every enemy in the game, are part of what we call prize packs. You will see shortly Octoroks, which are in the same prize pack. So what do we call prize pack? A prize pack is a group of enemies not linked, not linked to each other at first, but they belong to some group, some drop group actually, and they drop the same thing. You have a series of items they can drop. Yeah, you just saw Red Rupee and MrWunder doing a little bit of he went away from his way just to grab this rupee because it's important to have rupees in this category. Whoa, so many drops! Already 37 rupees before entering the first dungeon. That's quite crazy. That's really rare. And yeah, so you have a series of items enemies from each group can drop. And rats and Octoroks and Popos, you're gonna see them in 2 rooms from now. They are part of what I call personally the rupee prize pack, which is a group of enemies who drops only rupees. And the order of those items is for the first 4 ones, a blue rupee, a green rupee, another blue, and a red. And then 4 other items, I don't remember all the rupees. So when you kill some enemy from this prize pack, you have a 50% chance to drop a blue rupee. Then if you dropped this rupee, the next one is the green, and on the next enemy you will kill from this prize pack, you will have a 50% chance of dropping this green rupee, and so on until the red one you want. And yeah, so Serelepe, sorry, it's a bit difficult for me to pronounce. Serelepe's screen came back, and we can see him in Hyrule Castle. I don't know if he died somewhere or if he just stopped his game while he was arranging some things about, I don't know, his materials. Maybe it's not the good word in English, sorry, but yeah, his stuff to capture the game, also something like that. But yeah, he's back to the race, and we will be seeing him doing the second part of Escape. Yeah, I don't know actually what happened in Serelepe's stream. My guess is he had to yeah, arrange some technical things. He had some technical difficulties, um, but it seems okay right now. Um, so yeah. Oh yeah, dealing with. Thank you for the vocabulary. I forgot. He was dealing with technical trouble. Thank you. Yeah, so MrWunder right now is in the last part of the Eastern Palace. Since I was explaining, sorry, my explanations can be slow, so I apologize for that. I was explaining the price spike stuff, and then I didn't explain what happened there in Eastern Palace. This is the first dungeon of the game after the Hyrule Castle, and yeah, it's also a difficult dungeon to optimize because, like Hyrule Castle, like the escape segments, you need to be really solid with your movements if you want to save time. Usually, when you compare yourself with top runners, you don't know. You might think you do everything like really well, quite well, and you don't, like when you compare with top runners, you're 20 seconds behind just on this split, and you don't know where you lost those all the seconds. And this is on each room. Those top runners do some strat and some optimized movements, uh, which allow them to save, I don't know, like 10 frames there, 20 frames there, and then frames plus frames become seconds quite more quickly than you could think. Um, so yeah, we right now in MrWunder's screen we have the first glitch in the game, which is the super speed. Many names for this actually glitch. You could hear a spin speed, a spin dash, a super speed, and later in the run a hook dash. Kind of lots of name. What you need to remind is only super speed is you actually can walk at the speed of a dash, which is 4 pixels per frame. As I said earlier, the average speed of Link is 1.5 pixels per frame, and this glitch, he's doing it again, allows you to walk at a 4 pixel per frame speed. Also, when we talk about spin speed or spin dash, this is a technique with the spin. When you do the spin attack with your sword, when you release your spin attack, if you press the A button, which corresponds to the dash button actually, if you press this button 1 frame after releasing the sword button, you become Link becomes in a weird state, which we call the super speed state. And if you enter some kind of stairs, or I don't know, oh sorry, I forgot the English word for that. The ladder, some kind of stairs or ladder, and go out from this, you on certain conditions you can walk at the speed of a dash. Yeah, right now Serelepe took 5 extra arrows in the main room of Eastern Palace. You will see many runners take those extra arrows. They are not mandatory. Most of top runners skip them because it loses only 1 second. 1 second, and yeah, this way, if you take it, you will not depend off an arrow drop at the end of the dungeon from a red Igor. If you don't take it, you have, well, 87.5% chance of dropping 5 arrows, but you also have 12% chance of not dropping them. And the game knows. The game the game understands what happens there. If you're on a good pace, well, those 12.5% will become way more for sure. So yeah, MrWunder there got the big key in Desert Palace in the cannonball room there. The cannonballs, sorry, are quite random. Nice try there for Serelepe, killing the Igor for the front. It's a bit slower, but way safer, and you can get lots of rupees. Also, we saw MrWunder taking the boots earlier in Sarah's. Sorry, I know how to pronounce it in French, but in English it's a bit harder. Sahasrela's house. He didn't take some chests which are hidden in the basement. They hold 100. Later in the run, you will need 110 rupees, and he will get them in another and interesting way. I'll be explaining a bit later. Serelepe finishing Armos fight, a great fight. We don't see this strat often actually in this fight. This is the bottom right strat from this. Actually, there are I know at least 4 strats for this boss Armos fight, and between all those strats, only 1 second, about 1 second, lies between the fastest and the slowest strat if you do everything optimally, of course. So not a big deal, but you know, it's the beginning of the game, and in every speed run, when you're on the beginning of the game, you want to save those frames. MrWunder right now in the Landmonas fight, nice beginning actually. We will see how he deal with the rest of the fight. A really difficult fight actually. You have to beware of the movements and the positions of 3 worms at the same time. Really good fight, 3 cycles from MrWunder, and a really nice fight. 3 cycles is hard to do. The optimal number of cycles is 2, but it's really rare to see this, especially in a tournament race. So yeah, GG to him to get this fight. Very nice. Yeah, here, leaving the desert with those gentlemen. I have a little anecdote about the. Oh, looks like we have some troubles again with the Serelepe screen. Yeah, sorry for those technical difficulties. Yeah, you know, it's the live conditions. Things like this happen. Yeah, sadly, we cannot do. We cannot really do anything when yeah, you know, the capture cards or when your computer doesn't want to. Yeah, it doesn't want, and yeah, I hope it will be okay though. But I feel bad for Serelepe. I forgot what I was saying. Victoria, yeah, and I didn't explain the fake flippers there. So as you might know about the game, you need the flippers to swim into the deep water. And MrWunder there doesn't possess them yet, but he could swim in the deep water. He actually executed a glitch, which we call the fake flippers. We make the game think that we are actually possess the flippers. And well, how to explain this? When you fall into deep water without having the flippers, you have an animation where Link is, well, kind of drowning. And during this little animation, this short animation, you can move during 1 frame. and if you're 1 pixel away from a screen transition, sorry, you can execute this screen transition. And then the game, you come from a waterway, so the game thinks, oh, he's coming from deep water, so I will not check if he has the flippers or not, and yeah, I'll just consider he has them, and then allow him to swim. Yeah, quite a hard room there. The lobby to do fast with the boomerang and the switch, etc. Here is another interesting room, the switch room. Yeah, I discovered during this tournament a funny thing. I don't remember who did that. Maybe it was I don't remember who, but it was years ago. I think it was a clip from Waffle. If someone knows what I'm saying, maybe they can post the clip in the chat. But yeah, one tile didn't appear in this clip. Like, it was weird. I don't know if it saves time or not, but weirdly, one of the tiles, well, didn't just didn't appear, and then yeah, he got hit by a mini Moldorm in this room. Yeah, mini Moldorms are quite annoying. You cannot really predict their movement. So some people like to buffer to the lantern in this particular room to be able to predict a bit more the Moldorm's movement. Interesting strat here in MrWunder screen in the Beatles room, which is one of the hardest rooms to execute well in Tower of Hera. And doesn't activate the safety switch. Quite risky, but yeah, he knows how to bring up some clutch for sure. What I call the safety switch is in the floor below. You have a switch you can activate, and in the room right before the boss, you have pots, and under those pots you have lots of hearts, little hearts, and you can refill your life. If you don't activate the switch, you cannot get to those pots. Moldorm, one of those RNG bosses, you can manage a bit better Moldorm's RNG than Molas RNG. Moldorm is dangerous because he can make you fall off from the platform there. A good fight from MrWunder. If he makes you fall from the side of the room, you fall from one floor, so that is okay because you just need to go back to the stairs and do the fight again. If you fall from the middle hole, there you fall from two floors, sorry, and this is painful to make your way back to the boss. So yeah, right now going to the Master Sword, but not only going for some rupees. He really has a lot of rupees there. It's not common to have this kind of rupees, but yeah, drops are RNG dependent. And he had a really good RNG at the beginning of the game on rupee drop. You see him right now pulling a tree, and yeah, he will kill 4 enemies right now, especially without getting hit. As you saw there, he was careful not to be hit by those birds. They are kind of dangerous. Yeah, especially this one. This bird is really dangerous. The second one. You have to be quick on starting your dash into the. Oh, sorry, I don't remember the English name for that. The wood thing you can enter in. And if you kill 4 enemies and not be hit by enemies, the next time you pull a tree, you will get 4 red rupees. It's RNG manipulation. You can do this on other things than trees. Not every tree works actually for this trick. Also, on some houses, we will see only one of them in this run. You have a Mario picture. If you pull a Mario picture, you can drop rupees from them. Taking the mushroom, so yeah, he will take the powder, I think, later in the round, and some statues, and yeah, actually he didn't need to take the 4 rupees, only 3 were enough. But yeah, who knows? It's safer to do so. I will explain this later why. And yeah, this strat, this rupee root thing, makes, I think it's 6 seconds, 5 or 6 seconds faster. Maybe it's 12. I don't remember the exact number. I think, yeah, 6 or something. It's faster than the previous strat where you grabbed, like I said earlier, rupees in Sahasrara's chest. So yeah. And this strat was found in I don't know if it was maybe in 2015 or 2016. No, already it was already found in 2016. Maybe in 2014 or 15. I don't remember, but it was found by ACMLM, who is the top runner of the game. We knew in the ALTTP community for a long time that, well, rupees can be dropped from some trees or other things, but we didn't know how did it work, and ACM found a way to manipulate RNG and to understand how it works. So right now we have our runner being in the Aghanim's tower, kind of a difficult dungeon there. Really difficult, but really nice feeling to do. In almost every room you have many strats. Say either they are safe or either they are costly in arrows or hearts, or if you have sword beams or not. Yeah, many strats. I recommend, if you're interested to see all those strats, to go in alttpwiki.net, and there you'll see on the Aghanim's Tower page many strats for every room you are seeing right now. It's really difficult to optimize and to do well and to adapt with your current condition. So yeah, shootouts for MrWunder to get through it successfully, quite fast, moreover, and arriving to Aghanim. Aghanim is one of the worst parts in the round, because we were speaking about RNG since earlier, but the RNG we were speaking of, we always have a solution, something to handle with, to deal with RNG things. With Aghanim you cannot. Aghanim makes lots of attacks. Well, I will explain the Aghanim's fights properly. In Aghanim you have cycles. Cycles of 6 attacks. The first attack will always be an energy ball, which is a ball you can throw back to him. And the last attack of this 6 attack cycle will always be a lightning attack, you cannot do anything but dodge it by just standing in the top part of the room. And the 4 other attacks are 50% chance being an energy ball or a blue ball. You can throw an energy ball back, but not a blue ball. It will explode in 6 little blue balls. Looks like he had 3 blue balls there, so that's on average the most well the highest percentage of chance of getting sorry. You have if you calculate this, you have between 0 and 15 you can get between 0 and 15 blue balls, and the percentage of chance of getting every number of blue balls varies. 3 of them is the highest percentage of chance to get. Yeah, I think my explanation was a bit clearer this time. Yeah, sorry for sometimes struggling with the language. And yeah, he got 3, which is the average. I think it's something with 31% chance of getting 3 blue balls. Getting the worst 15 is one of more than 30,000 chance. Yeah, if your name is Krivo, you can get it twice in your life, while nobody else got it only once in their lives. And the percentage of chance of getting 0 blue ball is, I think it's 6.25% chance, something like that. So yeah, right now MrWunder is in the first dungeon of a series of difficult and sometimes fatal dungeons. Dark World, it's a really difficult part, but it's where the fun begins. The game becomes harder. The enemies hit harder. The strats become more interesting, and we will see shortly well, quite spectacular thing. Not that hard, but still for a new runner, for a runner who just learned the game, it's really hard to learn. We call this strat the hammer jump. Whether it is a glitch or not, I think it's not intended by the developers, actually this one, but yeah, there is a debate actually if bomb jumps or not are glitches or not. But yeah, this hammer jump definitely, I think we can consider it with in the glitch category, because you clip through a rail, so you need to place one bomb on a really sweet. Wow, he did one of the hardest strats with the summer jump. I don't know how to do this strat actually. I cannot. I will explain. So the first bomb he puts, you have to put it in right pixel on the x-axis, and then you have to place yourself from this bomb also to the right pixel on the x-axis. To do so, you can make the game advance frame by frame by doing a pause buffer strat. he didn't do that. He did a little, a way harder strat, which we call the sword buffers. Actually, it's related to Link's movement. As I explained a bit earlier, Link's movement is not linear. I said his speed is 1.5 pixels per frame, but he does not walk at 1.5 pixels per frame because you cannot advance at from 1.5 pixels. So the movement is alternating between 1 and 2 pixels every frame. On the first frame, depending on your Link's facing direction, looks like you forgot a turtle. Depending on Link's direction, if you're facing up and you press up for 1 frame, you will be advancing from 2 pixels. If you're facing down, you will pixel. And if you press in the same frame up and the sword, or down and the sword, you will be advancing through with this exact amount of pixels. It's well a bit easier strat to, yeah, you know. Oh, looks like he's in trouble. Oh, one heart left. He has to be careful. Oh, scary fight, but he pulled through it. GG for this. Yeah, Hellmother was not really nice in terms of RNG. And yeah, he did sword buffers there in the hammer jump and the really hard way to do the hammer jump, but also the fastest because you don't need to do any extra buffers. If you can master sword buffers, you can get the fastest hammer jumps. Yeah. Okay, so what happened to Serelepe? I don't have information actually, but it looks like he has some technical difficulties, and maybe he's dealing with that. Just wait a minute. I'll try to ask around. I don't have many informations, but it looks like Serelepe had to forfeit the race. I think it's because of technical difficulties. So yeah, sorry for the show. It's more a run than a race, but still, an NMG run is always in my mind interesting to watch and commentate because there are so many things to explain that watching only one commentary from around, you cannot have all the explanations. Yeah, so actually, MrWunder there, he's doing it for time, yeah, to get a time because yeah, it's a bit difficult to explain. I'm a bit annoyed, but yeah, I will explain from the beginning. So we're still in the group stage in the tournament, and actually, MrWunder there and SerelepeMarsupial couldn't advance to the brackets stage, which will begin from May 1st, May the 1st. So this race is, well, for fun, you could say, but also in the rules of the tournament. You need to do 3 races to get 3 times, because if there is a tiebreaker, like if you have 3 people having 2 victories in a group and 1 loss, only 2 people per group can advance to the bracket stage. And the way to determine who will be advancing or not is the mean of the 3 times you did during your group stage. So we are 4 by group, and this is the last race of the AD group, the Modom group actually. Every group has names, and the name of this one is the Modom group. Yeah, he had. I couldn't see it live, but I saw only the end was clipped. MrWunder yesterday had a race with a Korek, who belongs, of course, to the same group, and they had a really close end race. They finished, I think, 10 or maybe 15 seconds apart from each other. So really tight race, really hype. And yeah, Korek won this race actually. But even if MrWunder couldn't make it, it's not a big deal. He's still a very good runner with a good time. So yeah, like even if you lose in the tournament, it's not it's not representative of your general level, because it's only 3. You're only judging on 3 races, so everything can happen with A Link to the Past, you know. Like if you die, I don't know, I think lots of runners well experimented that. Oh, nice. Realizing that the bomb explodes, but didn't explode the ground. But yeah, ALTTP NMG is a really hard run in a sense of everything can be really well. Like you can be, I don't know, 50 seconds ahead of your PB or even more, and one mistake, and you lose like 2 minutes or more. So nothing is done until Cannon's dead, you know. That's also, well, but I don't know if this English word exists, but passionate to watch. Really exciting to watch until the end, and then an NMG run. So yeah, getting the Titan mitts, which in Japanese is called the Super Power Gloves, reference to a famous accessory from the NES era. So yeah, definitely kind of lots of you know, references to other games, or like you will see many references to Mario games, especially in a bit later in the Turtles Rock. As you know, so Turtles Rock is the 7th dungeon of the Dark World, and it's the shape of a turtle. And in Super Mario series, you know that Koopas are turtles, and inside this Turtle Rock, you can find chain chomps or pokies, which are common enemies from Mario, and you also able to find pipes. You can enter inside, or even lava, like in the first levels in the Super Mario Bros. Series. So yeah, definitely lots of references. Also, another anecdote. I think many people know this. The Fountain Fairy theme actually comes from the World 3 world map music from Super Mario Brothers 3. That's interesting. If you have YouTube not far away, you can listen this music. You type World 3 music Super Mario Brothers 3, and you will hear a little fun, I don't know, jazzy music, jazzy version of the Fountain Fairy theme. Kind of funny. So yeah. Right now, getting the Gero Gero boy. I say the Gero Gero boy because in the Japanese version of the game, this is well, in every version of the game actually, he's a frog in his darker version, and the onomatopoeia, um, the onomatopoeia from a frog in Japanese is Gero Gero. Well, I can't push this anecdote further. I hope you're not eating in front of the stream, but actually, gero in Japanese means vomit, and gero gero is the onomatopoeia from a frog. Yeah, sorry for this dirty anecdote, but yeah. So this is the gero gero boy. I call it like that. So yeah, maybe we will see some fence dash there. No fence dash. Too bad. If I can get an interview with MrWunder, I will. I will ask explanations of this. No, I'm joking. But fence dash is a really swag strat, and it makes save I think 20 frames or maybe 10. I don't know. But it's faster, not by a lot. But you can. It's easy to miss. You have to press out of the screen transition. You have to press the A and left button at the same frame, the first frame available to move. So it's not that hard. Ah, nice strat there. I think I already saw him do it, or maybe it was another person. This mummy statue room is one of the worst rooms in the game, and usually you have the mirror equipped. There, he equipped the boomerang, so he could stun the mummies, and they are not in your way. And this is really a neat strat. If you're a runner of this game and you struggle with this room, I can only advise you this strat, which is a really good strat. It's not the fastest, of course, because you need to do 2 more equips, but it's really safe and really nice. For instance, in my current PB, those mummies completely screwed me up, and I got hit 3 times by them, and fell down to 3 hearts in the first room of the dungeon. So really stressful dungeon when you have only 1 heart to do the whole dungeon after the bomb jump. Yes, another bomb jump. Sorry, I don't explain bomb jumps, but yeah, it's really visual, so I don't think I need to explain them. Just a bomb jump is thanks to the recoil from the damage you get from a bomb, the explosion of a bomb. You can get over a pit. Oh, nice road dash there. To skip some parts of dungeons, etc. And you have 4 bomb gems to execute in the round. Here we are entering Mothula's room. Mothula is not the hardest boss in the game, but the longer the fight lasts, the harder it becomes, and the more dangerous it becomes. Oh my god! 1 heart left. It can be very quick. Nice, well played. Well played from MrWunder there to be alive at the end of the fight. You have some strategies. Actually, this boss is glitched. I don't know if it's because you have the temper sword, because this engine is the 3rd engine. You are not supposed to have this level 3 sword after the 4th engine, but in the run for the sake of being fast, we get this sword earlier, and we do the 4th dungeon in second. So anyway, we have this sword for this fight. I don't know if this particular sword makes the fight glitched, but the thing is, Mothula, if you hit the moth and you make it bounce into the spikes in the rooms, the spikes hit override the sword hit, and then it's like if you didn't did any damage to it. It doesn't count as a hit. It's really annoying, and you have to be careful on the position you are compared to Mothula's position, in order to not to throw it back into the spike. So kind of a technical fight there. Right now he's looks like he was a bit greedy on the throw there in this circle of rocks. Yeah, the more right you throw the rock, the faster you are. But yeah, if you're a bit too much on the right, the skull you throw breaks on the circle of rocks instead of going inside. Okay, so now getting the flippers. Wow, he really has lots of rupees. Impressive. Usually you have at this moment maybe 90 rupees, maybe 101 or 2 rupees. He has 155 rupees. You don't want to have that kind of money, because there was something found recently actually about the rupee counter, because the rupee counter is written with 3 digits, and it's not really common for because the numbers in the game are stored. Well, it's a bit difficult to explain, and I don't know really well thing, but are stored in hexadecimal, and going to 999 is over 255, which is the equivalent of FF in a hexadecimal. It's a bit technical stuff there, but yeah, the thing is, the game calculates your counter on every frame during the game, and the higher one of your digits is, the more lag you generate. Oh, and seems like MrWunder took the mushroom, but didn't take the powder. So he will be the fake border strat, I think. Interesting. I didn't see this quite often during the tournament. The fake border, I didn't know it until really recently. This is another glitch, a minor glitch, so this is okay. Looks like he has a little trouble with the this is the Ice Palace bomb jump, the IPBGA. Personally, I think this bomb jump is the hardest bomb jump in the game. Even if the hammer jump is a bit more spectacular, this one is way harder because of the diagonal movement you need to get from the bomb. Like you need to be really close to the hole, and yeah, really tight bomb jump. Thanks to this bomb jump, you skip about 50% of the dungeon right there, which makes this split, the Ice Palace split, one of the shortest dungeon time. You spend more time in the overworld than in the dungeon in the whole split, because thanks to this glitch. So yeah, really nice, really nice skip. Yeah, here is coming Cold Stare, one of the scariest boss in this game. You need actually to empty your magic war. Oh, nice fights. He went for the 6 slashes. You need to empty your magic gauge in order to free Cold Stare from his block of ice, and then you need to fight them. The way you want to fight them is to corner them into the top right corner of the room. And how can I say, it's really hard to do so depending on the strat you use. Every strat, you have 3 main strategies of cornering him, but none of them is easy. Every one of them is hard, and this is the safest one. What he used, the 6 slashes, but it's still hard because one of them can run away from the corner with this trap, which almost happened actually. And a hit from them, one of them, is 4 hearts of damage, so it can kill you easily if you enter the fight with the low hearts. So yeah, just a few words for people who arrived recently. Welcome to this tournament race. Race which sadly became a run because of technical difficulties from Serelepe. He had to forfeit the race. It's really sad, but yeah, you know, technical difficulties. You cannot, when your computer, when your stuff doesn't want sorry, when your stuff doesn't want. And so yeah, MrWunder is doing a great run so far. I don't know if because I like you, I only have the stream, the speed gaming screen, so I cannot have a look at MrWunder's timer. I don't know, so I don't know if he's on PB pace or not, but I wouldn't be astonished if he would, because it's a great run so far. So there, the Swamp Palace. Swamp Palace, I often compare Swamp Palace to the. I often say is the escape of the Dark World. So remember of Escape. This is a segment. I'm talking about Escape there. This is a segment, kind of, you know, boring. Nothing really dangerous. Well, except from Ball and Chain Soldier, nothing really dangerous happens. You just lose time because of I don't know, enemy RNG or bad movement. All the time you can save. It's almost only movement. Really hard to optimize. Well, it's kind of the same for the Swamp Palace, because the whether you're fast or not depends on enemies RNGs, movement. If you can start dashes early, if you can pump some rooms, it's really optimizing movements all the time. It's not a hard or a dangerous dungeon, because it's supposed to be the second dungeon of the Dark World, and you're doing it in you know, in it's the fifth dungeon you actually do in the round, so it's not really dangerous. You have lots of hearts, you have a powerful sword, so not really dangerous. Just it's easy to lose time, and it's hard to save time. So this is why I say it's the Escape of Dark World, because it's exactly the same feeling for both of them. Being that, yeah, in Escape, it's on the beginning of the run, so whenever you reset, you will always need to go through Escape. Yeah, it's not the case for Sun Palace. But, looks like he is having a good dungeon so far. Having almost full life there is kind of it's the sign it's a good dungeon so far. Enemies control you and make you lose lots of hearts, actually, because they only inflict 1 or 2 hearts by hit. But as I say, depending on the RNG, you can get hit by lots of them. But yeah, that should be okay. It's not very dangerous. The boss, though, makes 2 hearts of damage, but it's really easy to play safe if you feel uncomfortable with your current situation about heart. 29 arrows, 5 bombs. Really nice about counters there. He even has 155 rupees, which is way more than needed. So yeah, he will not be in a need of any kind of items, I think, until the end of the run. And yeah, we are approaching from Argus, which is not a really hard boss. You have there is a strat which makes Argus one of the hardest boss fights in the run. But yeah, as we are seeing right now, MrWunder is not going for the fastest strat, which requires some glitch, what we call the hook dash. I will talk about the hook dash right after, because he will doing that, I guess. So Argus has a timer. Oh, nice shot with the fire rod. It's not easy to get the right rhythm, you know, to Argus. So yeah, really nice second phase from MrWunder. And yeah, how Argus works is he has an inner timer. He moves around. Sometimes he stops, sometimes he moves, and from a certain moment, he will begin to make his little puffs, like do circles around him, and this is what we call a cycle. And a zero cycle is you kill him before he has the time to make the little puffs, you know, going into circles around him. I just saw MrWunder timer become red. I think he's, I don't know, 10 seconds behind. So yeah, he's really on a good pace, and he might PB on this run. I hope so. Um, it's a possibility though. But yeah, the cardinal flowers there can drop fairies or hearts. Uh, it's a bit weird how it works. I don't know how it works, but it's kind of the fairy price pack. I was talking about the price packs earlier. So he was right because yeah, Death Mountain wasn't great with him. And in the next dungeon, you want to enter full hearts uh, for two main reasons actually. One of the reasons is that one of the strats, one of the rooms requires to be executed the fast way. You have the sword beams. Um, well, it's not a requirement, but it's better. You have a better feeling and maybe less lag. I don't know, but and I think it's also faster. And another reason is in this dungeon you purposely lose lots of hearts in order to be faster to get. You will see to get a key earlier, um, not earlier, but a faster key. Ooh. Okay, he killed the birds. The bird was quite scary there, circling around. Kind of hard. If you get hit by this red bird, you lose three hearts. You lose three hearts. So that's not. You really don't want to get hit by it. So yeah, pay attention to the room there. Really nice execution there. Having the one cycle there, really nice, really great feeling there in this room. Definitely one of the of the best room feeling from the game. Meyer 2. Um, so yeah, I've been thinking through the the dungeon. Also, there is some I don't know how to call it, but some common thing, some yeah, I will call it this way, some common thing in the community. He will be lighting some 4 torches, and I invite you to watch the time when he lights the fourth torch. Ooh, got hit by the wizard beam. Okay, it's a 109 19, I guess. Torch time. For a top runner,
if the end game from there goes really well, you can finish the game in about 20 minutes. But 20 minutes is really really great end game for more realistic runners. It's more like 21 minutes, a bit more sometimes. So yeah, he can get from now. Oh, nice bong there to dodge the spark gamble there. What happened to player 2? Sadly, he had some technical trouble and he had no other way that to forfeit. So yeah, this is sad because it couldn't be raised, but it's still a great run so far from MrWunder. So nice show, but right now he's down to 3 hearts because of this hit in the torch room by the Wizard Beam. What he can do there is using his mushroom to execute the fake powder thing, because he has the Cane of Somaria right now, so he can do the thing. I will explain fake powders. Fake powder. I think he will use it. He would be the. It would be the wisest decision there. The fake powder is when you don't have the powder, but you can still use it. You make the game think you are using the powder. I don't know how it works exactly, but the thing is, you use the mushroom, and when you use the mushroom, you have a message like, "Oh, this is a beautiful mushroom item." In the French version, this is a little anecdote. In the French version of the game, they say, "It's a good mushroom from Paris." I don't know in the English version of the game what text there is there. And right after, he doesn't use the fake powder, entering to this boss fight with 2 hearts. Really scary. Really scary. I don't know how he will deal with that, but I think he will play really safe right from now. And yeah, it's really scary because of the lightnings from the main eye. The range it can get can be really. It can go almost to the bottom corners of the room. Oh my god! Sorry, I'm so scared. Oh my god, he's playing not safe at all. Okay. Oh my god! Sorry for headphone users, but that was an amazing fight. Wow, sick fight from MrWunder there. Not fast, but really impressive. we during this tournament we already saw some spectacular lightning dodges, but right there it might have been the most impressive dodges I saw during all this tournament, and even more during all the every run I could see in ALTTP. Wow, sick boss fight from MrWunder. I don't remember what I was explaining. Ah, yeah, I was explaining people there. He could use that. He didn't. So yeah, and using the Cane of Somaria right after displaying the text box from the mushroom. Oh, nice play, going to anticipate the drugs movement there. Nice play. Okay, he's going for the what we call the drive-through or the Waffles House strat. Usually you want to go this way with super speed active, but it's really hard because boulders and dead rocks in your way. Need to use the hook shot to push dead rocks, but you cannot do really anything with boulders. Really hard map. But yeah, arriving into there without getting hit is really good execution. So I always said earlier we are entering into a Totorock, which is the Mario dungeon. You know, I give a little name for almost every dungeon in the game, like Swamp Palace was the Dark Horse Escape, or this palace being the Mario dungeon or the Mario Palace. So yeah, that's my thing. And in this dungeon, you can run away of magic if you're not careful. Doesn't happen that often, but it can happen, and if it happens, depending on the place you are, it can be annoying. Gladly, there are many big magic jar you can use. So not a big deal though. And I was talking about Pokies. Oh, okay. He wanted to do the fastest strat there, but having some trouble. Not easy strat there. Since he took this magic jar, he shouldn't have any problems during the dungeon. Yeah, so Pokies, they are there. Nice fairy drop there. So he has the beams. Let's see what he will do with the beams. In this Chomp's room, really nicely executed, nicely done. You can use a sword beam strat there, which is a bit like I think it's. I tested it. It's something like 10 frames faster, or maybe 20. It was 10. I think it was 10. 10 frames faster than the double King of Samaria block. You create one block and shoot one beam from your sword. Maybe you can shoot another beam, though I didn't test it. Oh, having the... okay. This RNG is the hardest RNG to execute optimally. It's not the optimal strat there, but a really good strat. In the optimal strat, you don't use the fire rod to kill those Pokies, but it's a really neat strat there. We have a top runner, ACM. I was talking about him earlier when I explained the repeat tree route, and he has a 125 time, and I think he's still using this fire rod strats with the Pokies. Got hit by the ball. Yeah, it happens sometimes. Those excited balls who go around in the room. Really annoying when you kill Pokies. Usually you want the optimal way to kill them. I don't think it's the optimal way to kill them, but this way you don't need to switch to do some menuing. It prevents some menuing, so it's faster. You keep the Cane of Somaria and you just double spin them, and by this way you can kill them. But it can be difficult because you need a precise timing to do so, and like you saw, well, even with Fire Rod it can happen, but a ball can run away and bounce everywhere in the room and hit you. So yeah, and it's 4 hearts of damage. So that's scary. Here we have the laser skip, a bit too high there. Hard skip here. You're supposed to get the mirror shield in this dungeon, but you don't get it because it's 80%. You don't need the mirror shield, and you would need it only there. Having a bit. Oh, nice. Let's get with the block of St. Mario. Yeah, he did another strat there that he initially planned to do. Oh, skipping the. Oh, I thought he was skipping the magic. It's a bit scary, considering the fight, the coming fight. And yeah, the laser skip is one of those skips. It's not pixel perfect, but it's the range is not huge. Ooh, got hit by Trinix's head. He has to be careful because the second phase is not that hard, but it's easy to get it. Okay, that should do it. Okay, nice kill. Didn't get the double spin there, but still fast, so that's okay. Ooh, MrWunder giving us scary boss fights. Can't wait to be at Ganon. Well, judging by his timer, maybe he's not on PB pace anymore, but still a good run. Really nice run. Nice strats and clutch things. Really exciting for me to commentate. Okay, going heading up. I don't know my phrasal verbs, so I might be wrong there. But going towards Ganon's Tower, one of the longest, if not the longest, dungeon of the game, and definitely hard and long, and you know you need endurance to get through it. In this dungeon, you have the red mail, which many runners take. I don't know if MrWunder would take it, but judging with his PB time, well, I remind you that his PB is 1:22:08 or 07 maybe. Well, it's a low 1:22 anyway, and I don't think he will take it, but he might for the sake, I don't know, for securing the run, or I don't know. He might take it though. Interesting their strat, throwing the boomerang diagonally to get the switch. Those rooms are short, but definitely difficult to do optimally, and they require a lot of practice. Especially the previously the Fire Snake's room, which is a pain, and yeah, it's really hard to anticipate the Fire Snake's hitbox. Okay, there you're going to dodge to avoid the warp. Inside the warp, there are 5 arrows you can take. If you lack arrows, but it's not the case of MrWunder, which has 30 arrows. This is really weird. Still, I think it's kind of reflex on muscular memory. He lifted the upper pot, but he didn't need it. Okay, so Ice Armos. Ice Armos there. Oh. Let's see how he handled that. Whoa, nice save. Really, even the mini boss fights are sick. My God, nice save there. So I don't know. the this mini boss fight is linked to Ganon's fire bats. When you practice Ganon, you always practice with one pattern of fire bats, and if you mess up Ice Armos, you can mess up the Firebat pattern and be surprised during Ganon's fights. Oh, getting hit there. That's not a big deal. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he was quick enough there. So that should be yeah, the surprise for us to see and for him to to experiment. And there, advancing to the gauntlet. Oh no, he's grabbing those fairies. There, this is a hidden room. You can bonk against those blocks. Actually, little anecdote from my experience of the game. When I was young, I didn't know that you could, bonk over a pit. So I actually did a bomb jump without knowing that it was speedrun strat because I didn't know speedrun at the time. But yeah, I just did a bomb jump there. Oh, the guy is trolling there. He won. Okay, nice dodge from the BMOS beams. And I just did a bomb jump to go until this room. And for me, the blocks there were not for bonks, but for hook shots. When you come back from the room, I didn't think about just bonking against because I didn't know about dash turn. Dash turn is when you deciding not to use the spin there for the first hit. Interesting. Nice gauntlet though, and nice 2-cycle landward. And yeah, dash turn. When you start to dash, you have 30 frames where Link will walk on the spot, and you can change direction during those 30 frames. And this is a dash turn, and because if you're facing a block and press A, Link will grab them automatically and not dash. So you need to be facing another direction and then change during your dash charge. They're one of the scariest rooms in the game because if you run away from magic in those rooms, you cannot go further in the dungeon, and you need to go out of the dungeon and be searching for magic, and it's really painful. It happened during a GDQ. I don't remember if it was an AGDQ or SGDQ, but it was a GDQ anyway. I don't remember the runner though. Maybe Solidus. I'm not sure. But yeah, he accidentally ran away of magic in this exact lantern room. Nice small dome too from MrWunder there. And he needed to search for magic outside, and eventually he finished overestimate because of this mistake. Really punishing mistake there, running away with magic, and especially since you use a lot of fire rod shots to land mode 2, you are low of magic when you come to this room. I get to the geometry wizard, a really hot boss fight. Optimally, you can 2-cycle him, but it's really rare to do so. Oh, maybe it should. Oh, 3-cycle, nice fight. 2-cycle is hard and deep and RNG dependent because in this fight too, Aghanim can throw to you a blue ball. and you know you cannot throw back the blue balls to him. So you cannot do a 2-cycle anymore if you get a blue ball. Enter a Ganon with 12 hearts. That should be okay. Oh, early sword slash there. Swag. Yeah, so he didn't take the red mail, but yeah, as I expected, he did. He will not need it, I think. It was a quite a good Ganon's tower, and okay, so it will be a 1-2 Ganon fight. What you would like is to do what we call the 1-1 is to do a 1-cycle phase 1 and 1-cycle phase 2. He got a 1-cycle phase 1 and a 2-cycle phase 2. Those two phases 1 and 2 are really hard. Many runners practice during hours to get this, because Ganon is a final boss, and he's a true final boss, true hard final boss. The third phase, he warps everywhere in the room, and you can hit him only if he materializes. Oh, sorry, this word is tough. If he materializes, but sometimes he doesn't, and he warps, continuing to warp, and it's RNG like Aghanims Blue Balls. You can do it. The fourth phase, you have to activate the torch glitch. If you lit the left torch before the right one is turned down, the right one will never well turn off. I don't know. It's not like an electric light, but and yeah, you can get some triples. He got it, and really nice. Oh, it's really close to PB. It's a PB, I guess. It's a PB. Wow. And it finishes with a speed racing.tv time of well, the official time of speed racing.tv is 1 hour and 22 minutes and 53 seconds. That's different from the time we see on the timer, but anyway, it's a PB. So GG to MrWunder. I'll see if I can make an interview with. Okay, so it looks like he doesn't have time to make it for an interview. But yeah, she confirmed to me it's a PB. So yeah, sub 122 for 1 second. So GG again to MrWunder. Also, I'm really sad for Serelepe, who couldn't race because of technical difficulties. Anyway, this race was like a race for fun, because both of them didn't advance to the brackets. So even if Serelepe couldn't do the race, it doesn't matter that much in the sake of the tournament. But yeah, so GG to MrWunder, and yeah, definitely give them a follow on their Twitch accounts, because they are good runners, both of them. Okay. Okay, so coming on speed gaming, we're on speed gaming 4, and I'm on the schedule of speed gaming right now. Looks like there is no run coming or race or tournament coming in on speed gaming 4, but still you have on speed gaming 1 Nori, I think it's a tournament, Ori race coming. In speed gaming 3 Sonic Adventure 2 race coming. On speed gaming 5 Rockman 2 race coming, and Final Fantasy Randomizer race finishing on speed gaming 2. Yeah, so it was really nice for me to commentate this run. It's always nice to commentate a run which is a PB actually, and really I'm still impressed on many things like boss fights. Also, I have to add that I was in this group in the group stage, and during the race against me, MrWunder did a wonderful hover in the Ice Palace bomb jump room. Doing a hover in this game is so hard. I'm so impressed this runner, what this runner can do. So yeah, once again, GG to him for PB. And, yeah, and so yeah, that's it for me. So thanks everyone for watching this race. I hope you will be enjoying. The brackets are finishing in 3 days from now. I think all the race are already scheduled, and stay tuned for the bracket stage, which begins on May the 1st. That's it for me. Good end of day, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, and see you another time. Bye.